Hi guys, it's Sherry. So today we are going to be making a very unique piece. And first I got this Druzy quartz and look how gorgeous that is. I mean, absolutely stunning. They did dye it pink and I just love the colors. And then I have just some clear quartz. So I got some of that. Okay, so then you're gonna need something that is round. So you could either use something like this or just a round bar. You know, something you could go a little fancier if you like. Oops, where are you? So you get something with designs on it. So pick something that is round. I am going to kind of see what is going to fit best with this particular piece. And I actually, let's see if the big one's too big. So I'm going to use this middle one here. And what I am going to do is I'm going to take my cutters, and right here you can see where it was kind of placed together, and carefully I'm going to cut that. If I, oops, there we go. So you're going to want to cut that. Make sure you don't have it slamming your face because that could hurt. All right. So my next step is I just got black clay, my black Primo clay, and I just need a little bit of it. And I'm going to kind of roll this through my pasta machine initially. And I'm going to roll this out on my, my fourth thinnest setting. So that's about the thickness you're going to want, okay? And then I am going to take, and I am just going to build up right around. And it does not have to be perfect initially. Just kind of pull your clay up, because we will be cleaning this whole thing up. Just pull it up. I want my edges to be nice and smooth. And you will see that the clay will kind of come away from it, and that's okay. Get your tissue blade, cut off that excess, and then just keep mushing your piece down. And that's going to give you kind of a starting point here. And I want to keep pushing down because I want this real tight up against my stone initially. All right, now I'm going to carefully pull my stone out. And then I'm going to put some of my liquid clay on my stone, on the back only. And then this will help my clay stay onto my piece. And the reason I do this afterwards is because I don't know how much clay I'm going to use initially. So I really want to just kind of get an idea. Okay, and then I just will stick this right back in here. All right, now I will just re-push everything on, and everything should stick nicely because now you have that adhesive on there. Just get right to the very edge of your piece. In my back, I have kind of a little lump, so I'm gonna kind of chop some of that off and then just keep kind of going with it. And you'll have extra, and just keep going. All right. So now my stone is completely covered in my clay. So we don't need that right now. And now I want to decide what I'm going to use as my top. So I actually think I'm going to go this way. And I am going to take my piece, I'm going to open it up, and then I'm going to decide exactly how I want to put this. So let me open this up nice and wide. And I want this down kind of below. So then I'm going to just kind of squeeze it right there and see how that looks. I'm not too thrilled with that. So let me cover up that hole again. So let's try it. I think I like it better in that direction. So I'm going to open it. And then I'm going to close it back up right in the middle and see how I like that. I think that's going to come down a little bit more. And you're just going to have to kind of play with this for a bit till you figure out exactly how you like the circle on there. Okay, right there. That's what I like. All right, so now, once I figure out where I want, so that's what my piece will look like. So now I like that. So I am going to take my black clay and I'm going to kind of get a small piece of it, and then I'm going to go right around my circle piece. I'm going to get my blending tool, and then I am just going to carefully blend this. And we will super glue this in afterwards if we have to. Sometimes we don't. Okay, so next I am going to take another piece of black clay and I'm going to kind of roll it out, and I'm going to keep it somewhat thick because I want something that my clear quartz can go into. So I just want to make sure it's nice and soft. And then I will take this and I'm going to put this right on the very top. I'm not going to do anything else with it right now. Just put it on the top. Then we're going to take our quartz and we will push those right in there. And stagger your quartz. You want one back here. And this, by putting some behind, so you got some in the front and some behind, that will help seal that completely and keep it into place. And we'll do our one big one here, and then one right there. So that's what we got so far. So that looks pretty cool. So now we'll take our blending tool again, and we will just carefully put this down and blend right around our piece. We'll have to glue those in then. So just go down. I know that goes right there, so I'm not worried about that. I just want to kind of push these into place nicely. All right, so now let's get our adhesive glue again. I'm just going to put some right on my table here. And I will dip my ends in here, and then I will place them right back inside. Okay, so now we have all our pieces back inside. And make sure they are exactly how you want them. And now I'm going to get my dotting tool. And I'm going to get my small one, and I am just going to just dot and kind of push that clay up around your stone here. And that'll help texture it too. We're just going to dot the whole thing. I'm going to get in between my little stones here and just make sure I'm texturing that area too. Don't worry about if you get liquid clay there. It's okay. Or the adhesive clay, I should say. And lay this down and just start poking away. Okay, so now my piece is completely textured up. I'm happy with it. So our next step is going to be, and I'm going to use white clay because I want you to be able to see the detail. I'm just going to take my white clay and I am going to make some noodles. Put that off to the side. I want my noodles fairly skinny, so they're going to be about that size, so nice and thin. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to go around and just slowly work your little piece right into a circle. I'm going to come down. And you could really do any design you want on these. And that's the nice part about these little noodles, is that you could really just take them to a whole new level and really just design whatever you like. I'm going to go right in the middle here. And I'm going to kind of go around again. And I think I'm going to do another loop. And using your thumb, on your other hand, really helps kind of hold that piece down and put it into the place that you want it to be. And I'm not doing anything special on my designs. I'm just putting noodles down, designing my own little thing, and just giving it character, basically, is what I'm doing. And I love that you could do that with clay. Each piece is unique and really your own when you can just play around and do what you want with it. So you can see I'm just doing like little swirls in and out. So that's what we got so far, guys. Look how beautiful. All those little swirls really look nice. I want to put something right in the middle there. So I think I'm going to do like a little swirl again, but I want to do it on my hand before I put it on there. So I'm thinking something just really simple, just a little kind of like a zigzag like that. And I could just pick this up and I could, oops, pick that up and put it right in there. So it's kind of already made for me, and I don't have to squeeze my fingers and try to get my piece in there. And just carefully pat your piece down nicely. And I am happy with that. I want to do something just up here. So I'm thinking maybe, what should I do there? Maybe just a couple more of those little loops. That would look nice to kind of keep it going. Okay, so lastly, I just want to put a couple little dots in there. So I'm going to take my tissue blade and I'm just going to kind of cut a few little, like pieces, and then I'm going to make these into like little dots. So you make them into like little circles or dots, and then let's just place these in different areas. Kind of like where we didn't get our little swirl areas, so it's not empty. And then we could take our ball tool and just kind of push it down, but don't push it down too hard because you don't want to mush them completely. Just want to kind of have them in there. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to stop there because I don't want to put too much. And now I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to bake it at 275 because it is Primo clay. And I'm going to bake for about 20 minutes because this is not thick at all. So 20 minutes will do just fine. And then we'll come back, we'll paint it up, we'll assemble it, and you will have a gorgeous pendant. My piece is now out of the oven, and look how beautiful it looks, guys. I am super pleased with this. This is definitely gonna be a really cool piece. You can see my pieces are really nice and secure in there. I do not have to super glue anything. So everything is nice and secure in there. So we are going to start by painting. And I have this shiny silver. It's called the Army Painter, and I love this paint because it dries really nice and fast. So let's get some of that out, and I am going to use a detail brush right in between my my quartz because I don't want to get paint on there if I don't have to, because it's going to be hard to paint around or to clean that paint off of those stones. So I am just going to get a detail brush and carefully just go around those stones. And just follow the bottom of the stone. And if you have a nice small tip like this, it will work out really nice to go in between everything. So you just carefully work your way in between all of this. So you could go right down the middle there. And just make sure you got all that clay covered. And once you do, then we can move to a bigger brush. But it's just easier to kind of work around all these little areas first to avoid all that cleanup, because the cleanup is going to be a hassle to get in between there. I'm a pretty messy painter to begin with, but if I have to go a little slower than normal to avoid all that extra cleanup, I will. Okay, so I am happy. I know I got all my top pretty good, so now I'm going to move to a bigger brush. And now I will be able to cover up more quicker. And make sure you get in between all these little extra crevices. And try not to get your Druzy, because all those little stones, boy, are they hard to clean. So try not to get that if you can avoid it. I'm kind of moving my brush back and forth like this because I want to make sure I get into all those little holes that we made. And kind of moving my brush like this really helps get into all those little crevices. So now, the nice part about having these is you could really just hold on to those and not get anything else full of paint. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. And like I said, this does not take long. Like, that top part is already dry. I'm telling you, I love this paint. This paint is amazing. All right, so I'm gonna let that completely dry. Take about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll put on our black. All right, so our next step is going to be to put our black on. And I am going to let you know now, some of this silver will kind of come off on the noodles, and we're okay with that because we will just recover it up. And the reason that being is because for paint to really not come off, you have to let it set longer than 3 or 4 minutes. But the underneath will not come off. It's just the stuff on the noodles because I will be rubbing it, and that just naturally happens. So I got my black out. And what I am going to do is, let me see, where is my one? Right here. So I have my stiffer brush, and I absolutely love this. And I am just going to get some water, and I'm going to kind of make my paint wet. And I just want to get it nice and smooth. Because when I put this on, I'm going to be brushing it off. And this is just for a shadow effect. So I'm going to kind of go inside. I'm going to kind of pound it a little bit in there. And that's what I like the stiffer brush for. Go inside. Like I said, make sure your black paint is nice and wet. Okay, so then you're going to take your towel, and you are just going to, oops, let me move this. Stay. So I do not want, oh, I got paint on my arm. Oh well. And then we are just going, why is that? And then we're just going to keep kind of wiping off most of that black paint. And you're going to have to kind of get in there with your finger. So make sure it's like a smaller towel. And just kind of brush some of that off. And if you can't get in there, get another paintbrush and kind of brush. And we want it dark, but we don't want all black. So I kind of want to get as much of that off as I can. I'm going to get my brush a little wet. Kind of see, I'm just rubbing it around. And this is why my silver paint will come off those noodles. I'm just getting my piece wet because this is a little harder to get in there. And now I'm just going to kind of take that and blend that all over. So that black will spread. Don't worry about the top by your crystals there. See, by doing that, now we have a nice dark area here and it's going up into the crystal area. So it's kind of giving it that shadow effect, which is really nice. Now we just got to kind of get down here. So I'm just going to very lightly make it like a muddy mess and then kind of go over into this area. But I don't want it as dark. So just kind of shadow it a bit. We're going to get a little shadow go out here. Basically, you're making your nice shiny silver dirty looking. But that dirty look is going to look amazing by the time we're done. Okay. I'm gonna get a little bit right here, a little bit more here. Okay, so now our next step, let me wipe that off of me. Our next step is going to be to just get a little bit more silver again. I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to tap it because I just want a little bit on my finger, and then I'm just going to go over my noodles again. And I am just going to brush the silver paint right over onto my noodles. And I'm just very lightly going over them because I don't want to get silver all into the black areas that we just did. So just be very light on this. Okay, let that dry. Alrighty, so our piece is dried and I think it looks amazing. I am very pleased with it. Very happy. So our next step is going to be to put our jump rings on and our chain. So I like to keep things simple sometimes. So I got a chain here, and basically what I'm going to do is lay it out so I can find my middle. And I make sure my end pieces are all even. Then I take my little cutters and I find my middle part, grab a hold, and cut that. take that off. Very, very simple. Now I'm going to just take my jump rings. I will open them up. I'll put my chain on right away. And now I'll just slip that right in there. I'll close that up nicely. Make sure it's 100% closed. Oops. Because you don't want your chain to come off of it. There we go. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. And that one's 100% closed as well. And now you have this gorgeous necklace. I mean, how stunning is that? Absolutely beautiful. I am super loving this. I just think this is stunning. I am going to take a little bit of alcohol and clean my my quartz up. So to clean that up, all you're going to do is take your alcohol. I like to keep mine in like a little squeezy bottle, like a spray bottle. Get a Q-tip and then just go up and down, because sometimes when we're splattering paint, like the black paint, I'm sure it got onto the stones. So you could just take a Q-tip and clean your stones up real nice. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my gloss glaze on. So I have my Sculpey satin glaze. And you don't need a lot. Get your brush and then just brush over it. I wanted to put the chain on first because then I can hang it up to dry. And once you're finished putting all your glaze on, hang your piece up to dry. If you get any glaze on your stones, just go over it again with your Q-tip, wipe it off. So here is our final piece, and look how gorgeous. I mean, absolutely unique, beautiful, stunning. I am super happy with this. You can really see how it goes from like the dark to the lighter sections. At least I hope you can see that on here. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. I really hope you guys enjoyed creating this piece with me. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.